Wealthy heiress never uttered a sound since birth until a refuse collector did the extraordinary. Henry Langston had erected towers that kissed the sky, yet he couldn't coax a single syllable from his own child's lips. Lily was 6 years old and had never talked. She wasn't deaf. She wasn't mute. Physicians verified her vocal cords were perfect. Counselors had attempted endless sessions. Henry and his wife Clara journeyed with her to clinics in Chicago, Seattle, even Geneva. Every specialist departed with the same resigned breath. She can talk. She just won't. Clara's eyes bore constant shadows beneath them. "She doesn't even call me Mommy, Henry," she murmured one evening, her voice quivering. "Do you know what it feels like to bear a child? To yearn years for that first word, and it never arrives." Henry tightened his jaw, unable to reply. He poured wealth into the issue, but wealth held no voice. Their grand home resonated with silence that grew denser each day. Lily beamed. Yes, she chuckled soundlessly. Yes, but she never spoke. "Not one, Daddy. Not when I'm here." It was on a Tuesday morning, while Henry shouted directives on his phone, that Lily slipped past the front gate. Clara cried out when she realized, "Henry, she's gone." Fear gripped him. He dashed outside only to halt in astonishment. Lily wasn't missing. She stood on the pavement before a man in bright coveralls, the refuse collector. He wore a cap, hands stained with grime, lugging a blue rubbish sack. He was the sort of person Henry scarcely acknowledged, the kind of laborer unseen by men in fine suits. But Lily gazed at him with wide eyes. "Hey there, little star," the man said, kneeling down. His tone was gentle, almost cheerful. He didn't recoil at her quietness, didn't press her. He just grinned. Lily's lips curved. She giggled. A sound without words, but still a sound. Henry nearly crumpled. "Lily," he called, hands on his brow. Don't disturb him. Come back here." But Lily stayed put. She tilted her head, examining the man as if he held a mystery no one else knew. The refuse collector set the sack down and patted it. "Know what this is?" he asked softly. "It's heavy, like when you hold too many burdens." Lily's eyes fixed on him. He laughed. "But if you open it and release them, it feels lighter." Clara rushed to the gate, panic in her heart. "Henry, he's speaking to her." Henry snapped. She doesn't answer. Noon can reach her. But Clara shook her head, gripping his arm. "Look, she's listening." Days passed. The refuse truck arrived each morning, and every morning Lily waited by the gate. She never spoke, but she smiled when she saw him. She pointed at his gloves. She clapped when he hoisted the heavy bins. One morning Clara approached him timidly. "I don't even know your name." "Thomas," he said plainly. "Thomas Reed." Henry tensed. "Listen, Mr. Reed, we value your kindness, but my daughter needs experts, not casual chat from strangers." Thomas shrugged. "Maybe she just needs someone who expects nothing." He turned back to Lily, knelt low again. "Hey, little star, guess what? Yesterday, I saw a cat leap right into a bin. Scared me witless." Lily laughed silently, clutching her pink frock. Her whole face glowed. Clara covered her mouth. "Henry, she never reacts like this." Henry shook his head, unable to grasp it. Weeks went by. Thomas became part of Lily's routine. He never urged her to speak. He only shared small tales about odd things on his route, about his old hound, about the silly tunes he hummed while working. Lily listened with rapt focus. Sometimes she'd mimic back, pretending to lift a rubbish sack. Other times, she'd clap at his jests. She began leaving small gifts by the gate. Sketches, blossoms, even her favorite pebble. Thomas always treated them like gems. One morning, Henry stood back with hands on his brow, murmuring to Clara, "This is mad. 6 years are quiet, and she's connecting with a refuse collector." Clara's voice cracked. "Do you know how many nights I've prayed for anything? For her to let someone in? I don't care who he is. Look at her, Henry, she's alive with him." Lily leaned close to Thomas, lips moving as if she wanted to form a word. But nothing came, not yet. Still, for the first time in years, Henry felt something he hadn't dared to feel: hope. That night, Clara sat at the edge of Lily's bed, brushing strands from her brow. "Do you think we've been mistaken all along?" she whispered. Henry sighed. Mistaken. We've been treating her like a puzzle to solve, not a little girl who just needs to feel secure." Henry had no reply, but deep down he knew she was right. The next morning, Henry did something unthinkable. He set aside his phone, ignored his driver, and walked Lily outside himself. She gripped his hand tightly. Her small fingers felt warmer than ever. When Thomas arrived, Henry didn't scold or warn him off. He simply nodded. "Morning." Thomas raised an eyebrow. "Morning, Mr. Langston." Lily let go of her father's hand and skipped toward Thomas, who knelt low. "Little star, guess what? I nearly lost my glove in a bin today. Thought I'd be rummaging through trash all morning." Lily clapped, silent giggles spilling from her lips. Henry watched with quiet wonder. Then he surprised himself. He stepped forward, knelt beside Thomas, and said, "Lily, do you know? I once nearly lost my tie, caught in a revolving door at a hotel." Lily froze. Her wide eyes darted between her father and Thomas. Then she giggled again. Henry swallowed hard. "Maybe because I never shared tales with her." Days turned into weeks. Slowly, Lily's world filled with voices, not her own yet, but voices that cared, voices that shared. Henry read her bedtime tales, not because he thought they'd make her talk, but because he wanted her to cherish them. Clara sang softly while brushing her hair. They stopped waiting for words and started treasuring smiles. One evening, Lily sat beside Henry on the porch. She tugged at his sleeve and pointed to the stars. "Lovely," Henry whispered. "Do you like them?" Lily nodded, eyes gleaming. Henry leaned close. "You don't have to say anything." "I understand," but inside his heart ached. He longed to hear her voice just once. The breakthrough came on a warm afternoon. Thomas was finishing his route when Lily ran up with a drawing clutched in her hand. She gave it to him, a stick figure in orange beside a stick figure in a pink frock. Above them a crooked sun shone. Thomas smiled. "Is this me?" Lily nodded proudly. "And this is you?" Another nod. "And what's this?" he asked, pointing to the sun. Lily opened her mouth. For a moment nothing came. Then, barely audible, a whisper, "Joy!" The world froze. Henry's knees nearly gave out. "Lily!" He choked, tears filling his eyes. "Did you just?" Thomas didn't flinch, didn't cheer, didn't press her. He simply smiled gently. "That's right, little star," Joy, Lily repeated, stronger this time. "Joy." Henry pressed his hands to his face, whispering, "Thank you, God, thank you." From that day forward, something shifted. Not just in Lily, but in all of them. Lily didn't suddenly chatter endlessly. Her words came slowly, timidly, like tiny buds in spring. Sometimes weeks passed with only a single new word, but every sound was a miracle. Henry no longer measured progress in deals or goals. He measured it in whispers, in laughter, in the way Lily's lips formed Mommy one evening and Daddy the next. One night, as Lily drifted to sleep, Clara whispered, "I used Topray for her first word. Now I think I'll pray she never stops smiling like this." Henry kissed his daughter's brow, tears slipping down his cheeks. "She doesn't need to fill this house with words. She already filled it with life." Clara squeezed his hand. "And maybe we needed to change, not her." Weeks later, Thomas stopped by with his usual grin. Henry stepped outside, shook his hand firmly, and said, "You gave us something no wealth could buy." "Not words, hope." "Thank you." Thomas only smiled. "All I did was listen." As the truck rumbled away, Henry looked at this daughter twirling barefoot on the grass. She wasn't broken. She wasn't lost. She was just Lily. And for the first time in years, Henry felt lighter than any empire could make him. He whispered to himself, watching her spin in the sunlight. "Sorrow will always linger, but right now joy is louder." If you love this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more heartfelt, moving and surprising tales. And let us know in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? We adore hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.